Hi, my name's Billy, I read books, and this is my update for the month of May of 2024, where I'm going to talk to you a bit about a life update, what's been going on in my life this month, a bit about my hobby outside of reading, which is running, only a bit about that, and then we'll get into the books. And when I talk about the books, there's also a book haul. It's a bit of a mini book haul, but it's not a mini book haul because I'm looking at it and it seems a lot. But it's not a lot compared to others. I will get to it. You'll understand when I talk to you about it. So let's get into it. So in the month of May, I was home alone quite a bit for a week or so, just over a week. Just me and the dog at home because my wife was away in Bali because she'd won this trip as part of her side business that she has. She was one of the most successful people in that company, and they put on these incentives every year, and every year it's some big massive all paid for trip. Last one she went on was to South Africa. This time she went to Bali. Here's her on the Bali swing, and I was home alone with the dog, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be a great time to record a load of videos. Might even do some live streams, see if I can work them out, maybe like some read-alongs or whatever. I'll get to interact with you guys and girls in real time. But I didn't do any of those things. I did get a fair bit of reading in though, which is the main thing, because I have read quite a lot. So what I failed to make up for in like preempting loaded recordings and doing live streams, I made up for with the amount of books I read, because I did read quite a bit. I also did quite a bit of running. There should be a video on the screen now of the bald bullet here on the track 5k that our running club put on. Oh hang on, the sun's coming out. I always hate doing this at this time of the day because the sun comes through the conservatory and blinds me. Bear with me. There we go. So yeah, I was speeding round the running track on a timed track 5k for the running club, and I did all right. I ran quicker than I have done for a good couple of years, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Got some more races coming up this month, which we'll talk about in my next wrap up. But anyway, the books. So I finished reading The Last Emperox by John Scalzi. This has got a terrible name. I hate that word, Emperox. But this is the final book in the Collapsing Empire trilogy, and it's not very big. So you'd think the final book in the trilogy, the conclusion will be satisfying, but sadly it's not. It kind of almost forgets it needs to end and gets wrapped up in the last 20 pages almost, and it's just pretty rushed. And for a book that size, for the conclusion of a trilogy, was a bit disappointing really. I think I gave it 4 stars anyway, just because even though I was frustrated with the ending and I felt like the story just needed to kick up the arse to get it going, I still had a good time with it. So the series as a whole, I think I gave all 3 books 4 out of 5. But yeah, the ending for that was not great. So finished that, and then I was like, right, well, I read a banger last month with Guy Gavriel Kay. What else have I got on my shelf that is going to be an absolute banger? Something that's going to be a pretty much guaranteed 5-star read. Well, I was thinking, well, I've not read Neil Gaiman for a bit. I read The Ocean at the End of the Lane a few years ago, gave it 5 stars, and on my shelf was American Gods. This is the book I hear lots of people talk about. It's been turned into a TV series, as this TV series tie-in book cover suggests. It's a big old book. I think it's... What is it? Come on. What is it? Come on. It's over 600 pages. This edition itself, it says in the beginning, in the intro by Neil Gaiman, that this is like, got all the stuff that the editors told him to take out, and then it's got a conclusion at the end, like an epilogue, and then it's got another bit, and it just goes on forever. But I nearly DNF'd this. Gave it 2 stars in the end. I was so disappointed with this. It starts off really good, and for the first maybe 100 pages, I was thinking this is a 5-star read. And then halfway through, I was on the verge of putting it down and just leaving it, DNFing it. But I carried on, and I gave it 2 stars. It's a bloated, meandering mess. And like I say, at the end, the story ends, and this is the warning sign of a book that's got like a massive it's just too much. It's got like an epilogue that's about 40 pages, and I didn't even read it. Started reading, I think I read 5 pages of it, and it was people just pissing about, not doing a great deal. I thought, I don't need to read this. The story's ended. I mean, this is spoiler free. I'm not going to tell you anything about this book, but even if I wanted to, I could not tell you how this book ends because I've forgotten already, because I was just checked out. And it's such a shame because it's almost like, well, it falls into me the bits of Stephen King that I don't like. The slice of life, pondering around, doing sod all, wasting time. And even when that ended, and these gods, it's not a spoiler because it's called American Gods, these gods are in existence and are around. It's just like, if you know in some mythology or something of ancient gods, you might go, oh, I've read about that, oh, I've read about this. But even if you did, they're just like naming them and these things are here, and so what? I don't know anything about it and I'm not invested. I don't care what they are. Get on with the story, for goodness sake. But he doesn't. He overindulges and pisses about. So I nearly DNF'd it. So that was a disappointment. So I thought, right, what am I going to read after that? What series have I not? I've just finished a series with John Scalzi. I've just read a standalone with Neil Gaiman. I could go back to 3 Body Problem because I need to read the second one of them. What else can I do? Well, on the shelves, I have The Player of Games by Ian M. Banks. And on my channel, I've done reviews of Use of Weapons and Consider Fleabas, 2 other books in the Culture series. And they keep on getting views. You know, I have other spoiler-free reviews on the channel that literally no one watched at the time and no one watches now. But the Culture ones still keep on getting a few views. So I was like, you know what, it's a long time since I've read one of these, and everyone says that this is probably one of the better places to start with it. One of the better books. And I get what they mean by it's a good place to start, because it doesn't mash your head. Kind of know what's going on. It's just boring. I give it 3 stars. It's just boring, it's not a big book. The text is relatively small. As you can see, it's about 300 pages. I don't know whether just the cover is just it's just an old book, isn't it? That means nothing, by the way, in the terms of this story, nothing at all. Don't know whether that put me off, but yeah, 3 stars really. It was interesting. All the books I've read in the Culture series so far all leave an impression on me, even though I wouldn't say any of them were amazing, and I'd love to go back and read them again, or I'd recommend them to someone. They are all different and they all leave a little impression in my mind. And if I think about it, I have this clear image, feel and image about that book, because it's all set different places, different characters within the Culture empire, probably not the right word. And this book's no different. This book's no different. It's about this guy who plays games. He's the best game player on within the Culture, I think, or certainly on the orbital or the locality that he's in. And they uncover a society where there's this game that they play, which literally is their society. So it's not just a game, a popular game. Literally their entire empire is based around this game, which is a really cool concept. It's just the story didn't really live up to the concept and the idea that the author had, in my opinion. So that was 3 stars. And I started reading, Battle Mage by Peter Flannery, I think it is. I saw Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews give this a 5-star review, and I've had this on my Kindle for a long time. And I was thinking, you know what, this is a standalone. I've got no idea what it's about. I don't hear anybody else talking about it other than Matt, so I'll give this a go. I'll give it a go. I'm about 15% of the way in, and it's okay. I'm struggling to get invested in it. You know, sometimes you'll read a book, you'll read something, and straight away you're just drawn into the world and the characters, and you can picture and visualize it. It's like someone just picked you up and plop, there you are in this living, breathing environment. It's not like that with this one. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I'm just not feeling it at the minute. going to keep on pushing through and progressing because there is a lot there. It's queuing up a lot of things. There's lots of tantalising threads and like little mysteries as to, you know, little backstories that get touched on that haven't been explored yet that will get developed. So I'm hoping it will all flesh out and be pretty good. Now, the book haul, bear with me. Here we go. Here you go. Right. Bloody sun. Right, well, the books are on my lap and you can see the top one here anyway. So last month I had a 5-star read with Guy Gavriel Kay. So in a moment of weakness, I went on eBay and found an offer of buy 3 get 1 free. So I bought his Finnevar tapestry. This is book 1, The Summer Tree. Book 2, The Wandering Fire. You see that one? And book 3, The Darkest Road. All relatively small size, these books. I like that. So that's a trilogy. I'm going to put them. And then there's some standalones, some of which you may have heard of, some of which you may not have. So the ones I had heard of before were The Lions of Al-Rassan, Tigana. That's the one I think most people have heard of. That's a big book. And then one I've heard of only relatively recently, A Song for Arbonne. That's a big trade paperback. Look at the size of it. 500 pages. Looking forward to reading that. And then there's The Last Light of the Sun and Children of Earth and Sky. So I think I got, is that 8? 3, 6, 7. Yeah, I got 8 books of Guy Gavriel Kay's there. And the next problem is, once you've got his books, is knowing where to read next. Because it looks like, so I've watched a video by Jake Bishop, a booktuber, and he has read all of Guy Gavriel Kay's books. And he's done a couple of videos, like tier ranking them all, and also talking about the best place to start with them. And I think I got lucky with A Brightness Long Ago, the 5-star read I had last month, the month before, whenever it was. That seems to be a really good place to start. And if you read that, then potentially read this, and then another one, whose name I can't remember. But then you could read any of the others, maybe. The only one I'm not sure about is this, where this kind of fits in, because it's not so much that it's all like one big story or something like that, but sometimes, apparently, some of these books have spoilers or mild spoilers for other books in some way, or there's references. So like Tigana is a standalone, you can read that anytime. That's a standalone, pretty sure you can read that anytime. Same with The Song for Arbonne. And then the Finnevar tapestry, I think, again, that's safe to read, just obviously read it in order. So I don't know what to read next from him. If you've got any clues, any ideas, please let me know. Because that's the one I read last time. And I think Children of Earth and Sky is kind of, so this was kind of set in Renaissance Italy inspired world. I think Children of Earth and Sky is also set in that, as is I don't know what it's called, there's a third. So yeah, I've got all these books from Guy Gavriel Kay to try and read. So let me know your thoughts. What have you read? Have you had any good reads? Where should I start with all those GGK books? And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye. So from that, I read my very first Guy Gavriel Kay book. And I read A Brightness Long Ago. I always forget what it's called. I want to say The Darkness That Comes Before, which was Art Scott Baker, or The Light of All That Falls, or you know, something like that. But anyway, I read this. It's a decent sized book. And this I gave 5 stars to. This was great. No, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Have I spoken about this already? What have I read this month? What have I read this month? I've already spoken about that.